Hello, friends. Happy Hearts Day. This is Jen. We are on for some Mellow out Sunday. It is snowing here in Chicago, so very, very cold. All those things. Not that those two things have to happen at the same time, but it is happening right now. So good to see you. I'm glad you're here. This week, we've been touching upon posture stuff. So I thought we'd do a little bit more of that today. Hey, Molly. Scotty made a great point the other day, which was like, when I had kind of like neck and shoulder issues, it was really good to do neck and shoulder like exercises for more than just one session. So I think like we in turn can do that for some posture stuff. So hopefully it's not just a one and done type of thing. It's something that we can continue to do and continue to cultivate so that it becomes a more natural process for us to find good tall spine, all that wonderful stuff. So anyway, I hope you had a good Sunday so far, but we will go ahead and get started here. So let's start with our left leg crossed in front of right, just in a really, really chill, comfortable situation. Let your hands rest on your lap. It could be face down, face up, whatever your choice is. And take a moment here, close down your eyes, relax your shoulders down, away from your ears. And we'll take a couple of breaths here together. Full deep inhale, lengthen, breathe deep, fill up your lungs. Exhale, stay tall, relax your face. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. We'll do that again here, full deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. And continue to take your breaths really slow here, in and out through your nose. Especially if you've been spending this weekend taking care of other people, other furry friends, whatever it is. Now is your time that you get to take care of yourself. So breathe deep, fill it up, lengthen. And on your exhale, start to let go of any residual tension, tightness out of your body, out through your breath. Good. Your next inhale, look past your right shoulder. So as if somebody has called you over and then you're just looking with your head. Move your chin past your right shoulder, your chin still moving just along that lateral plane here. You start to feel the stretch down the left side of your neck. We'll take a breath in through your nose, get a little taller, even with your kind of chin over your right shoulder, just thereabouts. And exhale, stay tall, keeping your chin moving past your right shoulder. Let's bring our chin back to neutral then. Still with your eyes closed, as if somebody's called you over your left shoulder, you start to move your chin in that direction. Start to feel the stretch run down the right side of your neck. And let's take a breath here. Full deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. Good. Again, return your chin back to neutral as if you were looking straight ahead. We'll do that one more time. So as you go past center, move your chin closer toward your right shoulder. Again, we'll take another breath. Full deep inhale. This time on your exhale, see if you might be able to gently move your chin even farther, right? Looking almost past your right shoulder. Take another breath like that. Inhale, lengthen. And again, on your exhale, see if you might be able to look a little bit farther past your right shoulder. When I say look, your eyes can stay closed, but see if you can just move your chin, keep your shoulders chest square. All right, your next inhale, let's lift our chin upward. So still kind of facing that right hand side, Gentle tilt of your chin upward. On your exhale, gently tuck your chin in toward your right collarbone, that area. Yeah. And one more time. Inhale, tilt your chin upward. Maybe still trying to get your chin a little bit more to the right-hand side. And gently tuck your chin in toward your collarbone. Good. Return your chin back to neutral plane, and then return your face to the front. We'll move past center over to our left-hand side. And anywhere along the way you feel like you're starting to slouch a little bit, see if you can gain some lift through your abdominal, your side body. Take an inhale like you're looking past your left shoulder. Lift up tall. On your exhale, maybe you let your chin go a little bit farther, as if you were looking past your left shoulder. And we'll take one more breath there. Inhale, lengthen. And on your exhale, as you soften, maybe a little bit more twist, keeping your shoulders, your chest square. Good. Your next inhale, gently lift your chin upward, still looking toward the left-hand side. You draw your face up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, start to tuck your chin in toward your left collarbone, seeing if you can still draw your chin farther toward your left as you make that transition to that tuck. And then take your time getting there as well, kind of moving slowly into this tuck. Do it one more time. Go through center as you tilt your chin upward. See if you, in the transition, can move your chin even more toward your left. Right, this is all very gentle though, right? So we're not forcing, we're just seeing if there is space for us to move a little bit deeper, right? So just checking in, right? And then move into that tuck again. So seeing if you can move your chin a little bit more toward the left in that transition into your tuck. Chin toward your left collarbone. Yeah, so good. And your next inhale, lift your chin up to neutral. And then return your face back to facing the front. One more time to the right real quick. And then come back through center. Move your head looking past your left shoulder to the left. And through center. One more time, each side. Look past your right shoulder. When I say look, your eyes can stay closed. Come back through center. One more. Look past your left shoulder. And return to center. Beautiful. Open your eyes if they weren't open. Lean back just a hair and we'll swap out our legs, moving into some posture-related things. So we'll start with both right now. So find a good stack of shoulders over your hips. Let's deliberately round, right? Let our shoulders round forward, separate through your blades without hiking your shoulders upward. And then inhale as you push into your legs, start to lift up through your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades. This is that work that we'll find a little bit later in class as well. A lot of that squeeze. And then gently we'll start to round again without letting these shoulders hike up, just letting them come forward. And again, squeeze your blades, draw your shoulders back. Feel even that rotation, your shoulder heads drawing back, open your chest, digging my nail up into your upper back. Good, let's do a couple more here. Round. Separate your blades. Let your shoulders roll forward. Find a hollow through your front body chest. And then pick it up. Good. Chest up. Your eyes can stay closed if you prefer that here. And allow your neck, your head to be natural. So whether it's kind of looking at that space where your side wall meets the ceiling, or if it's tilted even farther back, do what feels natural, organic. And return to neutral. Last time, let's round, let these shoulders roll forward and keep it active, right? So feel as if you're continuing to separate your blades, even once you've reached what feels like your terminal place. And last time, let's transition through puff up your chest, draw your shoulders back, open up your chest, squeeze your blades. Yes. Good. Return to neutral. Find your tall spine. Great. Inhale. Let's take arms all the way up high toward the ceiling. And exhale, goalpost. So from here, tops of hands, let's push them back. Right, elbows stay the same height. You just notice right, left. Notice if you start to arch through your spine. I definitely do that a lot. So I need to keep my spine nice and tall, not overarching. Just push the tops of your hands back toward the back of your space. Your elbows still high. Bring your elbows almost to like face forward without closing the space. Good, squeeze your blades. And let's come through center. Flatten out your palms to face the floor. And then gently push your palms back as if you're pushing through a wave. Your elbows stay up high. You might find this not super, super comfortable rotation in your shoulders. Yeah, exactly. Good, come back through center. Keep the height of your elbows. Let's lift up again. Tops of your hands, push them back as you sort of draw your elbows forward in that sensation, but it's still 90 degrees. Your elbows are not coming in toward each other. It almost feels like just because your forearms are making their way kind of parallel to the ceiling, to the floor, that your elbows are almost hugging in. Feel like you can visualize your shoulder blades wrapping around too. And come out through center. Flatten out your palms and we'll paddle back, right? Elbows still up high. Paddle back, good. And then keep the height of your elbows here. For me, this next business is not particularly comfortable. Keep the height of your elbows. Maintain the length in your spine so we're not arching. But we start to bring these hands in toward our center line without letting our elbows drop too much, without actually touching our back. So there's a little bit of space that we're trying to keep. Yep, and then return into neutral. It's normal for these elbows to drop a little bit. Let's see if we can hike them up just a hair. And then keeping kind of this outward pressure of your palms going back. So you can draw your hands, fingers closer to each other without changing your spine too much, without hunching over, without arching your spine, without actually touching your back. And gently return to that place, your hands just below your elbows. Again, push back, bring them in, hands, fingers closer toward each other. Lift up tall through your chest. Ooh. And return to that 90. Check your wrists. I notice mine tend to do this. Keep them straight. And then return to palms facing the floor. Elbows still up high. And then your palms facing forward. Neutral goalpost. Check in with your spine, not arching, just neutral. And then send these goalpost arms back a little bit farther. Still, we maintain the straightness of our wrists. You definitely, though, feel the squeeze of your shoulder blades. And then, as if you're doing little snow angels without touching the plane of your back, right? So farther back behind, let's lift these arms up like you're scraping the wall behind you. Your arms do not have to go to straight. Mine are like just barely straight, and then come back down to parallel, elbows in line with shoulders. And then the same thing, you do not have to touch your elbows together. You're just bringing them back in close, trying to keep your arms still parallel to your back without touching your back, and then return to the goalpost. So these like mini snow angels with your arms farther back behind the plane of your back, Go lift, and you feel like your arms are coming forward. You draw them back a little bit farther, and maybe you don't straighten them out as much. And then return to the 90-90. And then keeping them back there, maybe give yourself an extra squeeze. Draw your elbows in close with each other without arching, without touching your elbows to your back. There's space there. Yes. And then return to that goalpost shape. Check your wrists again, right? They're still straight. All right, squeeze your blades together again. Create that space, lift your arms up. Your arms might be straight. Mine are just not quite there yet. I know my arms are gonna come forward if I get them any straighter. And then bring it back into the goalpost, 90-90. And draw your elbows back and then close. Good, so much work. And then return to the goalpost. And then notice if your spine starts to arch, return to that neutral spine, stay tall. Squeeze your blades again, maybe draw your elbows back again, go lift. Again, think about pressing into that snow behind you, your little snow angel. Keeping your arms back behind your ears. And then return to your goalpost shape. You're creating your own resistance, right? And then squeeze your blades together and then hug your elbows in. Feel that wrap of your blades, your arms as far back as you can manage. And then return to that goalpost shape. Good. Our arms are a little bit tired. My shoulders are burning at the moment, but let's even draw these forearms back a little bit farther. Hold right there. And then we'll do tiny little pulses. Keep the height of your elbows. They'll totally want to drop on us. Just pulse it back. And don't even think about bringing them forward. Just a little release of that work. And then bring it back again, like you want to push your forearms back behind you and release the work. Go hug your elbows in toward each other. And release the work. Go squeeze your blades. And then release the work. Check in if you're arching through your spine, find neutral. Go squeeze in. And return. And the big difference you can tell, go squeeze in, is if you start to get into your ribs, you want to close this, right? So the work all up here. Go squeeze. And return. Last one, go squeeze it. Listen to lose these arms. Let's lift up again. Try to find that snow angel so you're still pushing the snow way back behind you. Arms as straight as you can get them. Mine are not going completely straight. Bring them back and gently lengthen. Normal. Push it out right, left. Oh, my shoulders. We're gonna come down to the ground real quick. So working a very similar type of movement, sometimes it's difficult to isolate when we're in like a seated position. So take your time making your way to the floor, and we'll do first looking out to the right hand side. Relax your arms down, your tops of hands down toward the floor, and we'll look to the right. Now, when you put your left cheek on the floor, just notice how it lands, right? Meaning, if you feel like much of your cheek is getting smushed, and you can maybe encourage it to go a little bit deeper. Maybe, this is only a maybe. You can place your right palm against the floor just to lift yourself a little bit up. Move your chin over toward your shoulder again, and then place it down with a more deliberate purpose. So now more of your ear is touching the floor as opposed to your smushed cheek. All right, so sometimes just doing that little bit of an adjustment might help you feel more comfortable when you're in this position. All right, let's take 2 breaths here. Notice on your inhale, if your shoulders are hiked up toward your ears on your exhale, so you can draw them back a little bit more. One more time, full deep inhale. So there's space, lengthen. And on your exhale, see if you can let your shoulders clear some space for your neck to be really long. All right, we're gonna play around with just this right side. So we're isolating. Hopefully this will make the whole thing a lot more accessible, comfortable, maybe for us. So the top of your right hand is on the floor. Simply lift it up. And I'm gonna take off my sweater because I know or my jacket because you can't really see that well. So just lift your right hand up off of the floor and notice your shoulder is likely just to be kind of natural. It's not doing a whole bunch of work. So you're just lifting it up, right? Nothing, right? You maybe just feel like a little bit of tricep. Okay, so with the top of your hand on the floor, see if we can now, as we go thumbs up, so your thumb is gonna rotate outward, right? So start to rotate your thumb outward. So maybe your palm now faces flat, and then see if you can get your shoulder involved as you get your thumb to face upward toward the ceiling. Good. And then return to your palm flat. And then top of hand to the floor, maybe your shoulder kind of comes in as well, internally rotates, and then lower back down. And we'll do that one more time. So we just simply lift, where we're not really thinking about shoulders. And then as we flip our palm up, we start to get this rotation, right? You can certainly do this for the most part without doing anything in your shoulder. But once you're there, so you can use your external rotation of your shoulder with your thumb up in this position. Good. And then keeping your shoulder rotated out and back, see if you can bring your palm back to facing the floor. And then as if somebody is pulling your fingers toward your toes, reach back a little bit farther. And then return to normal. And then rotate your thumb up, rotate your shoulder back. And back to palm down. And then somebody's tugging your fingers down toward your toes. And then return, rotate your arm, your shoulder, thumb up. And palm down. Lift your arm up higher, keeping that squeeze of your blade. Perfect. Keeping that openness, that squeeze of your blade. See if you can, again, do top of hand to the floor with as much rotation outward as possible. So as you bend, you're still not touching your back. See if you can reach as high up toward your mid-back as possible. There's this big dump in my shoulder at the moment. That's what I was trying to avoid. But see if once you're there, still not touching your back, if you can draw your shoulder back a little bit. And then let your right hand rest on your back. So my right hand is just resting on the small of my back here. Okay, now let's do that rotation once again. So keeping your arm bent like so, best you can. You draw your shoulder back, squeeze your blade, hug your arm, elbow in. And then return. Do it again. Rotate your shoulder back, squeeze your elbow into your center line, and return it back. Twice more. Start with the shoulder, right? Rotate it back, hug your elbow in, and return. One more time. Rotate your shoulder back, hug your elbow in, and return. Good. Pick your top of hand off of your back. Hold. Good. And then straighten out your arm. Rotate your shoulder out again. Palm, thumb facing up toward this ceiling. And we'll do a couple more of those rotations. So rotate open for 4. Close it for 3. Squeeze your blade. Open for 2. I feel a lot of my triceps actually. And 1. Good. And then from here, give your arm a rest. Top of hand on the floor. Just take a break here. Now we'll do both. Still with our cheek over, or our left cheek on the floor. Take your shoulders, both of them. Squeeze your blades. All right, so naturally your thumbs almost want to come up toward the ceiling and then return. Do it again. Go squeeze your blades. Yes. And return. Couple more. Go 100% work. You squeeze your blades. Ooh. And return. Again, go squeeze your blades. 100% work. return, 100% relax. 4 more times. Go. Squeeze your blades, shoulders away from ears. Return. 3 more times. Go. Squeeze your blades, shoulders away from ears. Return, 100% relax. Twice more. Go. Squeeze your blades, shoulders away from ears. Return. Ooh, last time. Go. Squeeze your blades and return. Ooh. Okay, so hands on either side. Give yourself a quick lift. Good. I've been on my headband kick. I'm gonna make it nice again. All right, from this place, just your little baby cobra. You can press your legs, your feet against the floor. They can be open, they can be closed with your feet. Press them down. Open your chest, draw your shoulders back. Hug your elbows in close to your body. Good, and then lower down. Do that one more time. Go. Lift. Feel that pinch. Again, squeeze of your blades, shoulders back. Open chest. And go lower. Take your hands out, tent out your fingers. Right, left. Go. Lift your chest up. And then from here, look past your right shoulder. All right, we already know this one. Come back through center. Look over your left shoulder. That might feel a little bit funny. We haven't been there in a while. Come through center, over to your right shoulder. Good. And to your center. Left shoulder. And center. Dip your left shoulder down. Come through center. Dip your right shoulder. Go down. Come through center. Left shoulder. Dip it down. Yep. Center last time. Dip your right shoulder down. And come through center, lower down. Good. Let's set up for the next side. So take on any movements or shakes or whatever you need to do before we move to the next side. All right, so our next side, we're looking to our left. Check to see like where you naturally land, right? Just as you're, without thinking too much, your arms down by your side, how your face naturally hits the floor, right? So if it's your cheek that's a little bit mushed up, or if it's already your ear, right, wherever it is, it's just information for you to understand what range of motion we have just in our neck. And it sounds like something so like silly. We don't think about it often. And it's one of those things that we don't think about until we don't have that range of motion. So whether it's that we have slept funny or whatever it is. So if you'd like to make an adjustment, I'm going to do it, certainly. Your left hand can come just kind of close to you to give yourself a little lift. And then gently move your chin. We want to be gentle with something as fragile and delicate as our neck, though. So if your neck is giving you access today, then you move your chin a little bit farther out past your left shoulder, and then place maybe more of your ear on the floor as opposed to your cheek, right? Maybe that makes a difference. For me, it does. And then let your arms just relax. Take a moment to see how this feels, especially as you know from the first side, we spent kind of a decent amount of time on that one side. So just take a couple of breaths, especially if this is the side that feels less willing. Your neck is less willing to twist in this direction. That's okay, right? Again, it just provides some information for us. And then see if you can maybe make some space for your long neck, your shoulders. And we'll do something, our very first one, which is just lift our arm up off of the floor, right? And that's just natural. Our shoulder is not doing anything special. We're just lifting it up off of the floor. Okay. And then now we're going to start to rotate. So start thinking palm facing upward toward the ceiling. Your thumb is rotating outward. And you can get away with maybe just rotating your, kind of from your wrist. But start to rotate from your shoulder, right? Good. And gently return it. Top of hand faces the floor. So feel the difference. Play around with it when you rotate using the initiation from your shoulder as opposed to your wrist starting the movement, right? So if your shoulder starts it, in some ways it can lead and everything else can follow suit in a much more natural fashion. And return it. And think of squeezing your blade, rotating your shoulder. Yeah, palm facing up. And gently return. And then it's okay if it starts to feel a little bit like taxed. We oftentimes, maybe you do, but we oftentimes don't spend that much time doing this very deliberate work. So it might just feel a little bit tiring, in which case you just take a break is no big deal. Good. We'll do a couple more times here. Think of rotating. Yep, from your shoulder. Rotate. Good. And then keep that rotation best you can. And then your palm faces the floor. So keeping the rotation, palm facing the floor. Okay, and then as if somebody is pulling your fingers down toward your toes. Make some space for your neck. And then rotate your shoulder back a little bit more. Good. Continue to breathe here. As if somebody's pulling your fingers down toward your toes, make a little bit space for a longer neck. And then rotate it out a little bit more. Good. And then from here, again, best we can, continuing to think about that rotation, openness of our shoulder. As we flip it, top of hand to floor, lift our arm up higher, and see if you can bend your left arm without touching your back. Keeping your blade squeezed, keeping your shoulder rotated open. And for me, for this side, it just feels slightly better. Not too much of a dump as much. Maybe that's just a feeling and it's actually not true, but it feels a little bit more accessible. And then once you're there, draw your shoulder back best you can, your hand still off of your back, and then let it rest. Very good. All right, feels so much nicer with the top of your hand just sitting on the small of your back. Okay, so from here, rotate your shoulder, squeeze your elbow in toward your center line, and return. Do it again. Draw your shoulder back and squeeze your elbow in toward your center line. And release. Let it relax. Twice more. Draw your left shoulder back. Go squeeze your elbow in toward your center line. And then return. Release. Last time. Draw your left shoulder back. Go squeeze your elbow into your center line. Yeah. And return it. And relax. Good. From this place, it's so funny, like we're not moving, but I feel all the things and so much work. See if you can lift your top of hand off of the floor again. Good, and then straighten out your arm. Draw your shoulder back, rotate your thumb up again. Yep, and then best you can, keeping that rotation. Return the top of your hand back down to the floor and rest your arm back down to the floor. And then keeping your right cheek on the floor, right ear on the floor. If you need to adjust at any point in time to get better in a space, do that. We'll take both shoulders. Go. Draw them back, open up through your front body as you squeeze your blades. Maybe your both hands lift off the floor, whatever they're doing naturally is perfect. And let them relax. Good. Do it again. Squeeze your blades. Rotate from your shoulders. Maybe you lift a little bit of your arms. Maybe they're on the floor, whatever works. And return. Again, go space, so shoulders away from ears, squeeze your blades. Maybe your arms do a little lift, thumbs face up. Return. Maybe on your return, you keep your shoulders away from your ears best you can. Again, go. Shoulders away, squeeze your blades. Return. Let's do a few more times, okay? So think about fingers going down toward your toes. Rotate your shoulders. Shoulders are definitively off of the floor. As you rotate them outward, squeeze your blades together. And return. Again, fingers toward your toes. Long neck, squeeze your blades, rotate open. And return. Still, if you can, keep that space long in your neck, twice more. Go fingers toward your toes. Squeeze your blades, rotate your shoulders. Squeeze, 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 thumbs up. And return, last time. Woo! Go, fingers toward toes, long space for your neck. Squeeze your blades, rotate your shoulders. And lower, good. Let's bring our hands to either side just for a baby cobra here. Chin on the floor. Take an inhale. Go lift. Long neck, right? So shoulders away from ears. Yep. And gently lower down. Do it again. Press your feet into the floor. Go lift, long neck, shoulders back, open chest. Elbows hugged in tight with your body. And lower down. Open up your hands just outside your shoulders. Go lift your chest up. You have tented out fingers. And then look past your left shoulder. Right? We've been here. And then look past your right shoulders. This might feel a little awkward, right? And then left shoulder again. Left. Relax your shoulders away from ears still. And go. Right. Good. And let's dip this right shoulder down. Woo. Come through center. Dip your left shoulder, go down. Come through center. Right shoulder, go down. Come through center. These can be a little bit less aggressive. This feels good to me. Dip your left shoulder down, but you can certainly lift up a little bit out of it, whatever your body feels best. Good, come through center. And then lift your chest one time, lower yourself down. Good, take a quick rest, relax your arms. And with your chin on the floor, so now we're in a neutral space. I'm gonna return to this. I have more space for my legs. Okay, with your chin on the floor, again, pick your shoulders. Your shoulder heads are touching the floor at the moment, probably. Pick them up off of the floor as you squeeze your blades. And then again, pick up your arms up off of the floor, thumbs face up. And then from that rotation, your thumbs facing up, your arms up off of the floor, press your legs, your feet down, lift your chest up off of the floor, as if I'm pulling your hands back toward your toes. Open your chest. Good. And then gently lower yourself back down, keeping your arms in that position so you keep the squeeze of your blades. Good. Keeping the squeeze of your blades. We're not letting them relax. No shoulder heads touching the floor. All right, do it again. Go as if I'm pulling your fingers back towards your toes. Open your chest. Keeping your shoulders back behind. Squeeze your blades. And then maintaining that, slowly lower down. Good. Still your blades are squeezed. Still your shoulders are drawn back. Again. Go lift. Fingers, reach for your toes. Open your chest. Yes. And gently lower without losing the squeeze of your blades, the rotation of your shoulders. As your last, go. lift. Draw your fingers back toward your toes, lift. And gently return. Nice. Let your arms drop down. Let your shoulder heads naturally roll forward if they do. And then from here, let's take our fingers, interlace them behind our back. So get your left fingers interlaced on top of your right fingers. So that means your left thumb is on top of your right thumb. Second finger is on top of your right second finger, middle finger, etc., etc. So your left set of fingers are in front of your right set of fingers. From here again, strong through your legs, press down. As if you're driving your knuckles then first, long. So just by getting your arms to go straighter, you might find that your shoulder heads naturally lift up off of the floor. And then if you can afford to do so, pick your arms up off of your body. From here, keeping whatever height you can manage, draw your knuckles back, lift open your chest. Yes. And gently return. Keep your arms at your best height, whatever that is. It's okay. And again, go lift. This interlace of your fingers hopefully helps you keep your shoulder blades squeezed. Again, twice more. Go, lift, strong spines here. And go lower. One more time, go. Lift, draw your knuckles back, open your chest. And gently lower. All right, gently lower these arms back to your body. Release your shoulders, release your fingers. Look over to your right hand side. See if you can naturally feel your shoulders fall away from ears. And of course, if your shoulders are hiked up toward your ears, you just make the adjustment. Allow your shoulders now to relax, but still preserve some space for your neck to be long. Take one more breath here in through your nose. And exhale it all out. Good, good, good. All right, back to chin on the floor. Spine strengthening is actually really challenging for me, so I'm really glad that we're doing it together. We're interlacing fingers again. This time, get your right set of fingers on top of your left set of fingers. Your right thumb over left thumb, right index over left index, right middle over left middle. Okay. Your legs nice and strong parallel. And let's start with simply lengthening out these arms. Right? This might be a big ask already. So think about drawing shoulders back first, right? We've got a lot of practice throughout our session today. So draw your shoulders back first. And then see from here with your blades squeezed, your shoulders drawn back, if you can lengthen out your arms a little bit more. And maybe they're long, but they're kind of resting heavy over our body. And that's fine. Don't worry. If you have a little bit of access to lift your arms up off of your body, see if you can go beyond where you left off the first time, right? If you have the access, meaning if your arms can leave your body, see how far you can go. Test your edge just a little bit here. And then from here again, as if your knuckles are drawing toward your feet, you lift. Chest up, shoulders back. Hopefully with all of that set up, those two details were already in place. And gently return. The difference this time as you return, see if you can draw your knuckles even higher. Think up overhead. Again, go. Lift up through your chest. Maintain as much height as you can, right? Whatever feels good. Knuckles off your body. And gently return. I know, sometimes with this spine strengthening, I'm just like, oh my gosh, the struggle is so real. 2 more times. Draw your shoulders back, open your chest. Go lift. Knuckles up a little bit higher maybe. And gently return, knuckles up. This is our final round, so give it your best effort. Let's go and go lift. Nothing to hold back now. Take your time. Maybe press your palms closer to each other as you lift your knuckles up and gently lower it down. Hey, keep your arms up best you can. Go. Lift up one more time. Ooh, and release it. Take your time to go through. Hands back onto your body. Let your arms, elbows relax. Ooh, release your fingers. Let's look to the left-hand side. So, see how your body responds when you let your right cheek, right ear rest to the floor. Does this feel a little bit better? Maybe more warmed up? Or maybe you've fallen into that exact placement that you had previously had to adjust yourself into. For me, this side felt a little bit more accessible. But still, if you'd like to do any sort of adjustment, remember it's just a simple lift, a gentle rotation, gentle twist, and still let your shoulders relax down away from your ears. We'll take a couple breaths here. In through your nose. Exhale, feel your shoulders relax down away from your ears. In this position, it might be a little bit more challenging to let them fall away from your ears. So you might need to give yourself just the actual manual adjustment. And we'll do that one more time. Full deep inhale. And exhale it out. All right. Lift your head up off of the floor, and we'll look over to our right-hand side once again. So this will be sort of like what we did when we were sitting upright. So your left cheek, your ear is on the floor, and then let's move into a goalpost with our right arm. You could do both arms if you'd like. We're only going to work this right arm though for now. So when you look over at your right elbow, it's in line with your shoulder. It's amazing to me. This next thing we're going to do is incredibly uncomfortable for what a small movement it is. So you're mentally prepared for that. All right, here we go. Let's lift this right arm up off of the floor. So just even in generating and creating that lift, it's a little bit of work, right? Surprisingly. Good. And then gently lower it back down. And when you lower it, truly relax into your body, right? So the next time we lift, you have to regenerate, right? Ready, go, and lift. Ooh. Lower back down. And again, once you lower, truly allow the rest of your body to completely relax. So no tension in between. Again, go, right arm lift. Lower, relax. And again, go, lift. Okay, from here, keep your right arm hovering off of the floor, right? Not touching the floor. Let's just straighten this right arm out to the side. Good. And then from here, your right arm's out to the side, just hovered off of the floor. Let's rotate palm up. So pinky finger wants to make its way up to face the ceiling. And then palm down. Let's go the other direction. So finding that rotation of your shoulder inward. And then return to neutral. Again, start with your shoulder, rotate it out so your palm facing upward. So much work. And palm facing down, palm facing up, thumb up. Good, twice more like this. Go. Rotate from your shoulder, palm facing up, pinky fingers forward, my arm is shaking. And switch it. Internal rotate. One more time. Go. Rotate external. Pinky finger up. We'll hold this rotation. Start to send your arm back. Keep your arm off of your body. And then once you're just about like sort of like in line with the rest of your torso, your legs, thumb up it. Like you want to scrape your thumb along this plane, this imaginary wall, and lower it back down. Whatever your max is, right? That was my max. Go lift it, thumb up, palm out, go lift, squeeze your blade. Whatever your max is, and lower down. Whew, twice more. Shoulder away from ear. Go lift it up. That's right. Think about pushing back as well. And lower down. One more time. Go. Thumb up. It's like scraping this imaginary wall. Woo! And lower down, matching kind of your torso. And keeping your thumb facing up, return back to your shoulder level, palm facing up, woo! Palm facing down, bend your right arm, hovered off the floor, goalpost, and then best you can, your arm is still hovered, squeeze your right shoulder blade so much and see how much you can lift up off of the floor without rolling onto your left hand side. Hold for 4, hold for 3, ooh! For 2, for 1, gently relax. Oh boy. Let's do the other side before we get too comfortable. Okay, so we were here. Let's switch. You can do a little bit of kind of these looks to the right, to the left, if that's helpful. I think I'm gonna do a couple of those. Woo. And then whenever you're finished, don't let me rush you ever. You'll look to your left and see if you can place yourself down there without doing any extra adjustment. Of course, if you adjust later, no big deal. But see what your body allows you to do without any adjustment for that first round, where it lands. Okay. All right, we're at goalpost, right? So when you look over to your left-hand side, you see your elbow in line with shoulder. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Engage, lift your left arm up off of the floor. And return. Good. Do it again. Go. Lift your left arm up off of the floor. It's weird, actually. And lower it back down. I know my left shoulder is the one that has the issue, but this for some reason feels less taxing. Go lift your left arm up off of the floor, then the other side for some reason. And lower it. Last time, go lift your left arm up off of the floor, hold it. So from here, start to straighten out your left arm. It's just in that T shape. And then from here, let's flip our palm up. So finding that external rotation of our shoulder. Right. Good. And then palm down, find that internal rotation. Hard part of your elbow faces upward. That's probably a better way to describe it. I was like saying the same thing. And then to neutral. Go soft part of your elbow facing upward, that external rotation, and really keep on rotating even once you're, sort of what looks like is there. And then internal, go let your shoulder rotate. Hard part of your elbow facing out. Still space, shoulder away from ear. Again, go. Soft part of your elbow facing out and up. Pinky finger trying to make its way up. And then internal. Yeah, so good. All these rotations, I think, are in some ways more challenging than all the extra big movement that we might do in other classes. Go external, open, and we'll hold it here. Start to draw this hovered arm closer to our body, sort of in that same line, palm facing up still. Still that external rotation. Now it's as if there's this imaginary wall in the same plane as your left side body. Start to lift your left arm up as much as you can go. Squeeze of your blade. And lower back down to the hover. So whatever your maximum is, re-rotate and then go, thumb up, go, lift, keeping your arm pretty close, right, to the plane, this imaginary wall, and lower down. Think about top of your hand, go lift, pushing back best you can, thumb up, squeeze your blade, and lower back down, still space, shoulder away from ear. Last time, go, and lift, ooh, and lower, back to that hover. Good, and then return to your T shape. You're still doing that external rotation, pinky finger making its way up. Then your palm faces down. Bend your left arm, still at that hover. We have one more thing. Best you can, squeeze your left blade so much. See how much you can get up off of the floor. Hold for 4, squeeze your blade. Hold for 3, shoulder away from ear. Hold for 2, let it all shake. For 1, gently release your left arm down. So good. Release your hands, or remove your hands, I should say, to either side of your chest, chin back to the floor. Let's do a couple cobras. I'm in kind of a very lazy position at the moment. My elbows are kind of falling out to the sides. If you're in that same boat because you are tired, I totally get it. But we want to bring our arms, elbows hugged in tight a little bit and just check naturally. Your shoulders will want to just cave forward to touch with your fingertips. Now this is a good gauge of where our fingers want to be. But once you have that good sort of setup, draw your shoulders back. Make space for your neck. Squeeze your blades. Even doing that movement, you just feel a little bit of work. And then from that movement, start to again lift your chest up off the floor. And there's very little weight in your hands, meaning you could lift your hands up and you're still in that same place. You don't have to lift your hands up, though. That is still just providing a little bit of guidance, a little bit of support. Shoulders back. Squeeze your elbows in closer to your body. One more breath. Go. Lift strong, strong spine. And gently lower yourself down to the floor. So nice. Use your hands this time to push yourself up off of the floor. And I'm just going to go onto my knees. Nothing crazy. And we'll do just a couple of movements in the other direction. So we did a lot of squeezing. We'll take it the other direction, your right arm just coming in front of your chest. Use your left arm to pull. And then drop your both shoulders down. Look past your right shoulder. Your right arm doesn't even need to be completely straight. Whatever feels good to you. You might even experiment with lifting your right arm up a little bit higher, versus dropping it down a little bit lower. If that makes a difference, maybe not at all for you. But for me, I feel a little bit of a change as I lift my arm up and down. And that feels pretty good to me. Good. And then we'll just spend one more breath here. If you can look past your right shoulder, relax your shoulder down away from your ears. Good. And let's return, shin back to neutral. Release these arms, switch. So left arm in front of right. And again, you can decide if you like this place, you look past your left shoulder, you're like, this feels good, great. If you want to just experiment a little bit with how the sensations change as you move your arm up and down, do it. And still you're looking past this left shoulder. And I'd like to think that if we continue to work this more deliberately, I feel like, generally speaking, like when I, think about how my posture is, again, I think I'm like, it's like, okay. Like, I don't think it's like terrible. But I also don't think that I do a lot of dedicated posture work. And so at least my experience is in this last week or so where we've been doing a little bit more dedicated work is that, this has highlighted many of my weaknesses because I feel so much. So hopefully we do a little bit more each time and make these movements not so taxing in our bodies. Just the familiarity, I think, is one, and the practice, of course, and the time spent in it is all quite helpful. So if you're in the boat where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm really tired right now, me too. I'm super tired. My shoulders are like, oh my gosh. So not to worry. Let's just take one more breath here. We'll try to incorporate it in a very deliberate fashion for sure. All right, gently release these arms. And we'll take these fingers again, interlace them back behind us. Whichever one you want to put on top is perfect. And then as first you draw your knuckles down, rotate your shoulders back, puff up your chest, lift. And think of these knuckles as a very heavy weight that you drop down toward the floor. So your shoulders come down with, your chest lifts up. Let it shine. Hold right here. Hold for 4. Maybe you pull your knuckles out back behind you a little bit farther, a little bit higher for 3. For 2. For 1, gently release. And then we'll switch out that grip. So my left set of fingers are on top of my right. I'll switch it out. So right fingers on top of left. Again, think about knuckles dropping down heavy, shoulders away from ears. Lift open your chest. And this is a big ask already. So if you feel like your arms are really reluctant to lift up off of your body, that is totally normal. Do not worry about it, little bit at a time. If you do feel like you have some access, start to draw your knuckles back, open your chest, lift. And we'll spend some time here again. Hold for 4. Proud open chest. For 3. Think of the squeeze of your blades as well. For 2. For 1, gently release these arms. Take on any shapes, any movements. I think that one, in addition to some other ones we've done in the past, kind of bring our palms to the floor and then walking our arms back, really creates a lot of feelings, sensations in our arms, our elbows, and today in particular our shoulders. So definitely take on any circles, any shapes that you feel like will help you. And then when you feel like relatively relaxed, let's just bring hands on her lap or down by your sides, wherever you feel good. Relax your shoulders, close down your eyes. Take a moment to empty out your lungs. Couple breaths here. Full deep inhale. Slow exhale. Actively relax your shoulders down away from your ears. One more time here. Full deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. Beautiful. Your next inhale, open your eyes. Thank you so much for moving with me this evening. I'm very well aware that this was not very mellow. I definitely feel like we will be feeling many things today, tomorrow, and the day after. And it's such a funny thing. Again, I know a lot of you, seen a lot of you, and I would absolutely like say our postures are like very decent, right? But somehow when we take that deliberate effort and intention to like work rotator cuffs, shoulders, and all those things, we're like, oh my gosh, so many things to work. So excellent work in putting that effort in. It's not easy for sure. Great to see you, Manasi. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Of course, stay warm, bundle up, stay safe, all those things. Yes, Rochelle, absolutely. Neck mobility is one of those things where we like don't even realize it's a thing until we don't have the thing. We're like, oh my gosh, it feels not great. So we will continue to work it for sure. So not to worry. The thing I love about practice in general is that it's not a one and done situation. It's just like a daily or whatever, once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, as much time, as much practice as we can put into it. And it gently, hopefully, feels a little bit more manageable. But you're doing great work. We're doing it together. Nice job, Molly. Tomorrow we are on for some core things. So 9 a.m. if you are around. Hey, August. Come join for sure. Otherwise, of course, all the things are archived. It's only 15 minutes tomorrow, though. So join me, wake up, grab some coffee. And I will see you there. Okay, have a good night. Happy hearts. I'll see you tomorrow.